The rain had been falling for nearly 3 hours when truck driver Eric Lawson noticed something strange. A road he had driven past dozens of times suddenly had an exit. He slowed down. According to his GPS, he was still on Highway 82. There wasn't supposed to be a turn for another 12 miles. But there it was, a narrow 2-lane road cutting through the trees, illuminated only by his headlights and the constant flashes of lightning overhead. At first, Eric assumed he'd simply missed it before. He turned. The road was smooth, freshly paved, and perfectly straight. Dense pine trees lined both sides, swallowing every bit of light beyond the edge of the asphalt. Rain hammered the windshield so hard the wipers could barely keep up. 10 minutes passed. No houses, no signs, no intersecting roads. Then his GPS froze. The screen still showed his truck moving along Highway 82, even though he was clearly somewhere else. His phone lost service seconds later. Eric reached for his CB radio. Nothing but static. He muttered to himself, blaming the storm, until a green road sign appeared ahead. It read, Mile 5. He drove past it without thinking. About 6 minutes later, another sign emerged from the darkness. It also read, Mile 5. Eric frowned. He checked his odometer. He had definitely driven several more miles. Maybe the highway department had made a mistake. Then he saw it again. A third sign. Mile 5. This time he felt something tighten in his chest. He looked in the mirror. The road behind him disappeared into solid darkness. Not the normal darkness of a forest at night. Just black, as though the headlights couldn't reach more than a few feet behind the truck. Eric pressed harder on the accelerator. The truck responded, but the scenery never changed. Trees, rain, straight road, nothing else. After another 15 minutes, he finally spotted something different. An old wooden sign stood on the shoulder. Its faded white paint was barely readable. It said, "Do not stop while it's raining." Eric laughed nervously. What kind of joke is this? The moment he finished speaking, the engine died. Every light stayed on. The radio worked, but the engine was completely silent. He tried the ignition again. Nothing. Again. Nothing. Then he noticed movement. Someone was standing between the trees, far enough away that the rain blurred every detail. They weren't walking. They weren't waving. They were simply watching. Eric locked the doors. Another flash of lightning lit up the forest. Now there were 3 figures, one on each side of the road. Perfectly still. His breathing became shallow. He grabbed the flashlight from the passenger seat and aimed it through the windshield. The beam barely reached the tree line. The figures didn't move. Then, every one of them took a single step toward the truck. The engine suddenly roared back to life. Eric slammed the truck into gear and sped forward, spraying water across the empty road. He refused to look in the mirrors. For nearly 20 minutes, he drove as fast as the storm would allow. Finally, the trees opened. Without warning, he was back on Highway 82. Traffic moved normally around him. The rain had almost stopped. There was no side road behind him. No opening in the trees. Nothing. State police searched the area the next morning after Eric filed his report. They found no road, no tire tracks, no evidence he had ever left the highway. Most people dismissed the story. Until 3 months later, a family of 4 vanished during another thunderstorm. The last image recovered from their dashcam showed the exact same entrance Eric had described. After that, investigators stopped calling it coincidence. They started calling it the Rain Road. They started calling it the Rain Road. The dashcam from the missing family's SUV became the center of the investigation. For almost 18 minutes, everything looked normal. The same narrow road, the same endless trees, the same rain pounding against the windshield. Then the father noticed the first sign. Mile 5. A few minutes later, another. Mile 5. His wife quietly asked, "Didn't we already pass that?" Neither of them laughed. The footage continued for another 12 minutes before the camera suddenly glitched. When the picture returned, the rain had stopped. The road was gone. The SUV was sitting in the middle of an empty field, nearly 30 miles away. All 4 doors were open. The engine was still running. The headlights were on, but the family had vanished. Not a single footprint surrounded the vehicle despite the soaked ground. Police searched the area for weeks. Nothing was ever found. Since then, similar reports have surfaced across the country. Every witness describes the same road, the same repeating mile marker, the same warning not to stop while it's raining. Authorities still deny the road exists. But storm chasers and truck drivers have quietly adopted one rule whenever they're caught driving through heavy rain at night. If you see a road you don't remember, keep driving, because no one has ever proven where that road leads. And no one has ever explained why some people come back, while others never do.